Yeah, I've got signal showing in the right hand corner, so hopefully this works this time.
That's just becoming through now.
Oh, here we go.
Alright, folks. If anyone can hear us, just let us know if we're coming back. Sorry, we've just really been battling with the signal here for some reason.
Channing Labonte, hi. Kimberly Beck, Infinite Army, Friday. Akshay Donde. No, they are not mating right now.
Alright, yeah. Sorry about that, folks. I'm not entirely sure. It might have been a load shedding issue that this signal or the cell tower wasn't really working, but it seems to be fine now.
Retnam Ramesh from Singapore, welcome. Curly and Mommy Williams. Tiki Boo, Rod Woodford, VS Vikrant, good evening. Abhishek Shekhar from India, welcome. Proud Cat Mama of 3. Maria here from upstate New York, welcome.
Alright, so welcome back, Barbara Russell. So folks, we are with one of the Gowrie males and one of the Kambula lionesses, just here on Mala Mala Game Reserve, and we are immediately to the south of the Mala Mala airstrip, more or less in between Mala Mala main camp and Mala Mala rat race camp. These two, she does not want to mate, but he does. So we'll just see if he tries again soon.
There's some facts from New York. Saad Patel from Toyando. Hi from Romania. Nachiontu, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. Annie, welcome back. Gareth Pandey.
Reza asking how many times a day do they mate. So I'm actually not sure how many times a day, but I want to say on average it's about every 20 minutes to 45 minutes. But on a cool day like this, that interval will actually be quite short. It's quite long when it's hot and they just want to sleep, but now I'm hoping that we'll see some action in the next 15 or so minutes. But when Gareth and I came past here on our way to the hyena den earlier, they were looking like they wanted to mate at that stage, and this morning he was certainly trying, but she kept rebuffing him.
Then Ezra Mateus from one of my favorite countries, amazing Rundu, Namibia. Gurav Pandey. Ado van Jaarsveld in the Netherlands. CMD Ant, Camden, New Jersey, welcome. And Proud Cat Mama of 3 asking, do the lions hunt or eat during mating? Not as much as they would when they're not mating. Usually they're quite noisy, and all the animals in the area will be aware of them. So if we just scan around here quickly, you'll see there's no other general game around. Our airstrip is just up at the top of that rise there. And also when they're busy mating, as soon as the female gets up, the male's up and after her. And you can see our cell phone tower, top right corner there. And because he's up and after her with that big black mane, he's very conspicuous. So he gives their positions away very easily. So they're not very successful at hunting when they are mating.
And Gurav Pandi, is your shout out. And Great Bear from the north, this is Mala Mala Game Reserve. So we are right next to the Kruger National Park. Very broadly, the Kruger Park is like a backwards L, and we are in the corner of that L. If you go on Google Maps and look for Mala Mala's airstrip, or look for Mala Mala Camp and Rattray Camp, we are just next to that.
Petra Murray Bosman, welcome back. And Tiki Boo, 2 days ago I went to Pilansberg and saw a lion with their cubs and 4 rhinos. Very lucky.
And Juha asking, what is the weight difference between a male and female about? So I'm glad you put the about there, because there is quite a lot of variation. But I want to say a normal lioness is probably 100, 120 kilograms, and then the male's about 180. But you do get some that get much bigger. I stand to be corrected, but I think the record weight is 267 kilograms, which is a huge lion. But that would be kind of the exception, and I suspect some of that weight will also be the last thing that he's eaten. So when lions do eat, they can eat about 15% of their own body weight in one sitting. So that 260 odd kilograms might have been 20-30 kilograms of well, say 15-20 kilograms of wildebeest or something as well that was being weighed.
Kathleen Jones, welcome back. Hello from Washington State. KG1, welcome back.
Friday, you didn't miss anything. We were just moving from the hyena den where we were earlier to the lions. Unfortunately, we had to go through 2 valleys on the way here, so the signal dropped out en route, which is quite sad because we passed some elephants and some baboons running across the river on the way.
And then Arjuna N, assuming that this is the Gari male with the Kambula lioness. That is correct. The Kambula pride has been fragmented over the last month. They are a very large pride of lions, and we're seeing them in bits and pieces lately. And Proud Cat Mama of 3 asking, is the lioness part of the Stixx pride? No, but we did have reports where they're on Mala Mala this morning.
On Toulon. So
Toulon.
in our traversing area, but not here.
Okay. So they're very close by this morning. Well, close by on the other end of the reserve.
And, hello from Gauteng, from It's Just Nandi, I think. Aesthetic. Dizzy1369 asking, we were at hyenas. So yeah, unfortunately, Dizzy, we were with the hyena den. If you go into the latest sightings page, I don't know if it's up yet, but you'll see for the last hour we were at a hyena den with some pups. The youngest pups moved into the den not long after we got there, maybe about 10-15 minutes after we got there, and then we were just with the 2 older cubs, but you'll see that if you want to catch up.
And then just Dizzy again asking, is this an Nkuhuma lioness or a lioness from the Nkuhuma pride? No, it's one of the lionesses from the Kambula pride. And then it's just Nandi. The X is just for decoration.
Oh, that's not Nandi.
Excellent.
Hello from Narnia. I missed the question, but someone was asking, Reza, sorry, asking, do they ever hunt baboons? And can they catch them? So it does happen, but it's pretty rare. Normally the lions don't bother. And baboons are pretty alert, so for the lions to sneak up on baboons is, I want to say, virtually impossible. Leopards are able, just because they're masters of stealth and patience, which the lions don't really have. But it is quite funny sometimes when the lions do chase a baboon up a tree, or the baboons kind of blunder into them. But yeah, it's not common. Kathleen Jones asking, how's the lioness from Kambula Pride and her new cubs doing? So Dan saw, it really is quite a long distance view, but he did see her nursing what looked like 2 cubs in the distance yesterday. So there are at least 2 little ones there. Maybe there's more, but he just couldn't see them. But you have to kind of look through a tunnel of bush into a small overhanging rock. But yeah, hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll start to see those cubs more and more regularly. Barbara Russell asking if they just started to mate today. So we only found them this morning together, or paired off like this. But the male is a lot more keen to mate than the female. We saw him getting rebuffed this morning, and then this afternoon we haven't seen them mate yet, but he's been sticking to her like glue. So it's,
and then
not letting her out of his sight.
Friday, I'm not wearing the mushroom hat, and Mike says hi. Okay, let's try and fix this again. There you go.
And penguin chicks or lion cubs, which are the cutest? I don't know. I'm gonna go with lion cubs, but I've also seen a lot more lion cubs than penguin chicks.
And hi, Mia. And I don't know if any of you are watching on Facebook. If you are, and you want to ask us questions, just switch over to the YouTube, Later Sightings YouTube channel, and we are answering questions on that live feed. I know this does go to both Facebook and the YouTube page.
So Proud Cat Mama asking, how many days do lion mate? So normally it's over 2 or 3 days, sometimes 4, and about every 20 minutes on average that they'll mate in that time. Actually read like one of these weird facts, but for every 2-year-old lion that you see, took 3,000 matings to produce, or there's 3,000 matings for every 2-year-old newly independent lion produced. But the reason that they mate so much, or one of the speculated reasons for so much mating for what would seem like so little result, is that it helps bond these males to the female. So they'll mate with the lionesses thousands of times before any cubs are actually produced, and that just keeps him around, or him and his brothers around. If it was a case of he came in, mated and left, there would be no males to stay and defend the territory and keep other new males out, and new male lions kill the previous male's cubs. So they want to be, or from the lionesses side, they want to be sure that the males are definitely going to stick around. It's not just a one-night stand and never seen again, because she's now pregnant for 3.5 months, raises the cubs, and then some new guy comes in and kills them. So all of that energy that she spent and time and effort and heartache is all for nothing. So the more they can kind of guarantee the males stay, the better.
And Lawrence just asking when we're going to get a camera. Lawrence, we have been looking at cameras, and there are many different types of cameras, and they're all very expensive. So we've got to kind of make the sums work and decide exactly which way we're going to go with the filming, because there's lots of different options. So for now, we don't have an answer.
Yeah. And looking at the Amazon app and the banking app on my phone sit sadly next to each other. The two aren't friends. Juha asking, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. So are these two part of a bigger pride? So yes. So he has a brother, the other Gari male, and then she's got 5 sisters and 14 assorted nephews and nieces. So part of, when they're all together, there's 22 lions. Well, 20 excluding the plus the 2 males. So yeah, the much bigger pride, or actually no, it's more than that. It's more than that because there's the new cubs as well. So in the next couple of months, if there are, when those cubs are moving around and they're all together, then it could be 24, if not more. But yeah, we're not sure where the rest of the gang is. Our anti-poaching unit did see 4 of the lionesses this morning on the other end of the airstrip, so they're somewhere around here. And then for those of you that watch Malamala's channel a lot, you'll be familiar with G-Nut, one of the other rangers that does all of our ecology stuff. This morning he could hear the other lions somewhere kind of at the back of the camp, but we didn't, well, no one really went to look for them because we had found these ones already.
And then Carolina Leone asking about the one-ear, or was it Linda Shepherd? I'm not sure now. About the one-eared wild dog, who we've shown on Malamala's YouTube channel a few times. They've also got pups. It's a pack of 2 wild dogs, an alpha male and alpha female, and I think they had 9 pups. And they have moved from their den site on Malamala. We're not quite sure where they are currently, but they are not close by to us. In the meantime, we have another den site that's been established at Malamala. And we're not 100% sure how many adults there are. There's at least 4. But there are 11 pups, and they are still very young, and they've started denning here. Hopefully they will continue denning on Malamala for a while.
And Barbara Russell asking, do you think the Stixx pride will start mating again? So Barbara, I actually personally haven't seen the Stixx pride for more than a year now, so they've been moving around so much and are so far removed from our normal day. I'm actually not even sure what's going on with that pride now. I don't know if they would maybe mate with the Gari males. I suppose it would depend a lot on if they were in the Gari males territory in the first place. But I think the Kambula lionesses, they're just so strong and so aggressive they'd keep any others out. So you can see as soon as she started moving, he's woken up to make sure she's not sneaking off to join her sisters. He's so paranoid about her abandoning him and sneaking away.
And welcome back, Tapelo Howard. Good to see you back in the chat room. And Izzy1369 saying only 2 ? Small pack. It is indeed. We've seen them around here for the last couple of years, but they haven't managed to raise any pups just yet. They do have a number of pups now. Hopefully some of those they are able to raise to adulthood, and then their pack will grow.
Kathleen Jones asking, do we know if the Cheetah brothers found one another? So we don't know. We actually are in the same area now, or about, I don't know, 500-600 meters from where that happened, but we haven't seen any sign of the dogs or the cheetah. But you know, it's unfortunately for cheetah, they very often get bullied by the other animals. Bullying is maybe a nice way to phrase it. But it's not unusual that they get chased around and separated by wild dogs or hyena, the lions, even leopards, or bigger male cheetah. So they're quite used to getting split up and then finding one another again. So I'm pretty confident that he's alright. If they hadn't joined or hadn't been able to find one another, what I'd expect is that the other brother would still be walking around the airstrip calling and being visible and, you know, trying to be found. So we haven't seen that, so I'm guessing that they're fine.
Devin Barrett saying, good day, gents. Why doesn't Mala Mala subsidize the camera equipment? Surely it's in their best interest to support the virtual safari. Cheers, thanks for the footage. You're welcome for the footage. Devin, it's a little bit complicated, especially now with COVID. You know, most of the staff has been home since January, February, March-ish. And, you know, we've had no guests coming here. This is the only income we get is from guests that come and visit the reserve. So there's been precious little income, actually no income coming into the reserve. And only now are or a lot more of the staff starting to trickle back to work. We will be opening up to the South African public in the immediate area. And yeah, you know, we're still not charging full rates. So at this point, we can't justify spending money on camera equipment when, you know, there's still people that aren't getting full salaries, and we're just at a very awkward time right now. So hopefully in the future, we will get some more camera equipment. I know since lockdown, we have been doing more in this filming department. And I think we will continue in some form or another. We just got to decide which is going to work best with our operation when it comes to guests. Obviously, the real life guest experience should naturally come first. And yeah, we'll just have to see what works best in terms of filming or live streaming, or whether we can do both. And there's a large bull elephant approaching now. He's walking directly to us, but he's still quite some way off. I'll point the camera there when we get a slightly better view of him, but it'll be nice to see him come close by.
It's just Nandi asking, is this Kruger? So yes, and for everyone that's just joining us, so we on Mala Mala Game Reserve next to the Kruger National Park. We're with one of the Kambula lionesses and one of the Gari male lions. We found them together this morning, well, as a pair. The whole pride were in front of Mala Mala main camp yesterday. So they've been he's been trying to mate, and she has been putting him off. But yeah, we'll spend some time here and see if they do decide to mate in the end.
Okay, so this elephant's just changed his trajectory a bit. I'll point the camera in that direction when he comes back into view again. Seems to be quite a nice big bull.
Friday saying the male looks small, so like he's not that small, but it's also the Kambula pride are quite big lionesses. So you kind of it just seems that way because she is that much larger than he is.
Okay, so that bull elephant isn't coming this way anymore.
We'll see if they get up. She might want to actually find the rest of the pride. Like I say, I'm not entirely sure where they are, but they're somewhere in this area. And I don't know where his brother is. I presume he's with the rest of the pride. But yeah, the pride itself has been a bit scattered lately. There's the one sister that's busy raising her cubs on one of the rocky outcrops here, Campbell Koppies, which the Kambula pride is actually named for. And then they'd left 5 of the cubs in front of Rattray's camp in the river, and then there were another 3 of the older cubs that had been left quite far in the north of the reserve, and then the balance of the pride moving around. But they all seem to have regrouped yesterday and all be back together. The 2 males were actually kind of babysitting the 3 youngest cubs. It was quite funny. They weren't with the cubs, but they were about 100 meters away. They could keep an eye on them and that without being hassled by the youngsters. But I don't know when they last ate. Haven't caught anything big that we're aware of anytime recently. But these lions are pretty successful hunters. I think they catch lots of impala and that, and they just devour them and move on before we even get a chance to really see what happened. Now if these lions catch an impala, in 5 minutes it's completely gone.
Then Barbara Russell just asking any updates on the Martley female and cub, referring to the Martley pride of lions.
Oh.
What they heard.
Working up. You can see he's got bed hair.
Is that a lion calling? Got my beanie over my ears, I can't hear all that well. Okay, here, Mike.
Alright. Sure. Folks, we're going to go and try and keep up with the lions. They are in a big rush. Just forgive me if we don't answer the questions. That's while we're driving.
His back legs are tired there.
I think he's got a dead leg from sleeping through the day. It's got pins and needles that he's just running off with. But yeah, we're not sure what got their attention. Yeah, they might have heard other lions, or possibly they heard something else being killed. Maybe a leopard made a kill, or the wild dogs. Yes, wrong here, Gareth. This is some Land Rover driving, going through.
Might even be Maxensdale on something.
Yeah, so there is this road that they're going on leads down to the river, so it might well have been a leopard kill that they've heard.
So we might lose signal, folks.
Yeah, folks, so again, as we're driving, the signal might cut out, so we've lost sight of the lions. I just want to try and find them. There they are on the crest there. So folks, unfortunately it's quite a steep bank that these lions are running down. I'm hoping that the signal doesn't cut out once we go into the river valley here. Alright folks, so I can't see the lions right now. Oh, they're already running across the river.
Can we go down there, mate?
No, we can't go down here. Alright folks, unfortunately there's no crossing close by here, but we're gonna shoot around as fast as we can to get back to the lions. Alright, so you get to see a little bit more of Mala Mala as we go. But, just the speed that the lions are moving, I think they've actually heard a kill. So unfortunately the riverbank here is so steep that there is no way to cross where they are. Sorry? Yeah. Yeah, for those of you that watch Mala Mala's YouTube channel and the latest Sightings channel a lot, that's straight. We're in the territory of the Maxim's male leopard now. So it could well have been one of his kills that the lions heard being made. Yeah. I just have to shoot across the Sand River now. Hold your breath. I'd say, yeah, let's stick in the river, at least we'll see them. It's a bit more open. Alright, and Nadav asking, is this near Maxim's lookout? So yes, that big tree in the center of the frame there, that's the tree at Maxim's lookout. And Mia asking, where are they? So Mia, we just had to loop around to try and find them again. They've run across the river. They were going with some speed, so that's why we suspect that they actually heard a kill that they don't want to have, well, don't want to get stolen by something else. They want to steal it first. The possibility is that they went to join up with the rest of the pride. They might have heard them roaring. I didn't hear anything, but the lions have got a phenomenal sense of hearing themselves. Power up this bank. Get up. You're gonna have to just go straight back, and it's the only way here. Alright, so you can't really see it on screen here, but this is a bit of a Land Rover proof bank. We're going to try go up there. Just need to. In the words of Jeremy Clarkson, that speed and power is what you're after here, Gareth. There we go. Alright, back on the trail. Right, so the lions have got a pretty significant head start on us. Here's the tracks going up the road in front of us. So what we might do in a second, if we don't have any luck finding them, is just stopping and listening for any growling and arguing if they have stolen a kill. Maybe the alarm calls of another animal. Tracks there. I think that was when they were coming to where we saw them. So I'm just going to listen for a sec. Just gonna see if I can find one of their tracks on the road here. Yeah, let's just keep going up.
Just take a straight drive up the eastern bank.
Alright, unfortunately we haven't been able to hear anything. So Gareth and I are just going to keep. Sorry, I'm not really following the comments. I'm just trying to find these lions again. Alright folks, so those that are just joining us, we were with the Garimel and Kambula lioness. They just woke up. They'd heard something and woke up and then went running off. There she is. So never mind. We've just found, I can just see a lioness in the distance there. But yeah, the lions had woken up and again running across the river after something. not sure if they heard a kill or they heard other lions. We're just gonna see. I think they heard other lions. It doesn't look like the lions we were with. So we found lions, but it's not the ones we were looking for.
There's one over there as well. I wonder if there's a better view from that side.
Yeah, I'll try Gareth. We're just going to try and reposition the vehicle here and see if we can see actually how many lions there are. I think this might be the balance of the Kambula pride. Yeah.
They're now looking west.
We'll just see what happens here, folks, but it's quite possible that these lions heard one another. Maybe we've actually got ahead of the other two that we were originally trying to find. I think that's fine for now. Alright, so these look like the other four of the Kambula pride. So there's these three here on screen, and then the other lioness behind us. Then obviously number 5 is with that male, whoever those two are, maybe en route here still. And then the 6th one is the one with the littlest cubs up on the rocky outcrop there. Alright, but yeah, like I said, these are not actually the lions that we were initially with, but they were running in this direction. Alright, sorry folks, Gareth and I will just go through some of the questions that might have come through while we are driving around and try and answer them. But if we don't get to your question, just ask again and we'll try get those get to those questions. Mrs. Lapwing, welcome back, saying we're going to need to get name tags for them. So you are right, it's quite difficult following these lionesses because they all do look quite similar. That particularly pale one does stand out, and there's another with a prominent scar across her face, but it's very difficult to actually tell them apart from one another. They are kind of twins anyway. The hi from Shanghai.
Stations 4 Lions, Scots Road, north of the Ngumuzan Donga, to the east of the road. Station 4 members of the Kambula pride. Lost visual of the single lioness and Gari male, headed north and west from Maxim's Lookout.
So I don't know if they've just heard the other lions calling. Kathleen Jones saying she's having a morning coffee. Like, yeah, it's afternoon. It's getting, well, I think we might have gone past sundown at time. But I'd be very appreciative of a cup of coffee right now. And Proud Cat Mama is a great way to spend the day. For a lot of our regular viewers as well, you can kind of see what Gareth and I and some of the other rangers, Dan and Nick and Yaku, are all up to with our Malamala's YouTube channel. We're hoping to keep up both that YouTube channel and these live sightings on Nadav's channel, latest sightings, going into the future. So hopefully you'll actually be able to follow on Mala a little bit more. I know it will be quite nice for everyone to be able to see what becomes of the Kambula Pride and their new cubs. We still haven't really got a good look at them just yet, but very soon. Thanks for that, KG. We'll digitally accept them. But another possibility is that these lionesses called and the other lioness came to join them, but they only maybe called once, so she wasn't quite able to like pinpoint where they are. But it wouldn't surprise me if the other two lions turned up here. It is more or less the direction that they were all, or the other two were coming in. But I had high hopes of actually finding them trying to steal a kill from a leopard or something like that. It would seem not.
Fighting Wolves just making the comment that they're sleepy mode so far. You know, just watched how quickly that can change. With a single lioness and the male who were in full sleep mode and then just went straight into action. Gary male half dragging his legs because he looked like he had pins and needles from sleeping all day long.
And so for those of you that are watching regularly on our live feeds from Malamala, you normally just sit with a particular sighting and wait, but today we've actually covered a bit of ground. It wasn't perfect, but remarkably the signal has actually played along for a change. Where we are now, actually, I'm quite surprised that we have any signal at all, but it is working. So obviously the stars are all aligned correctly.
Mrs. Lapwing just asking about any sightings of Talala and her cub, so known as the Martley lioness and her cub, or the Martley Pride. They haven't been seen in a couple of weeks, I don't think, but we have seen them probably about 2 weeks ago, and yeah, they have been around. We've seen, well, we think it's them. We see their tracks in that area, so we think they're still okay, pottering around Martley, which is one of the farms here.
Kathleen asking, is Robin still in camp? No, she's not, but I don't know. She might be, I don't know, Robin, let us know if you're actually watching.
Tapelo saying it wasn't perfect, however, it was brilliant. Oh, sorry, these messages are coming through a bit quick here. Where is it gone? Yeah.
Arjuna asking where the other male is. I don't know. Perhaps he is actually babysitting the cubs. I don't think it's by choice that he babysits them. I think he just knows it's a good bet that the lionesses are going to fetch the youngsters to come and eat. So if he wants food, he better hang around with the cubs because they'll get fed at some point.
So this is what we've been seeing from the Kambula Pride over the last month or month and a half, is where they're splitting up into little groups quite often and going off to hunt by themselves, and only regrouping every so often.
Just a morning cough there.
Robin, how are you, Robin?
Hello, Robin. So there you go, Kathleen. Robin is sort of here. And I think she's having more fun looking after a new puppy than looking at lions with us. Proud Cat Mama asking how many lions in this pride. So there's 6 of these adult lionesses and then sort of 14 older cubs and at least 2 brand new cubs that are what are they now, maybe 2-3 weeks old only. So yeah, I want to say at least 22 plus then the 2 male lions, so 24, with maybe 1 or 2 that we haven't seen yet of the littlest cubs.
And Tapelo just commenting there that it was good work managing to spot these lions. Thank you, Tapelo. It is nice being able to spot them. Sometimes you drive right by them when they're right next to the road, but we were lucky on this occasion.
See, this lioness is getting a bit restless here. She's got some fur in the back of her throat or something. But yeah, this pride, the Kambula pride, really is a particularly large pride. We do see quite big prides of lions in this area, and this part of the world is actually very predator dense area. Mala Mala has always been really well known for its game viewing, but for the density of predators in particular. For the leopard density, we're one of the highest in the world. And then the lions, also, it's a pretty amazing number of lions that we see. There's about 10 different prides and coalitions of lions that we follow. I think in a normal month we see about 60 odd individual lions just on our property, and we're about 30 or 33,000 acres. or 15,000 hectares for the rest of the world. Arjuna asking, is the Kambula pride splitting often because of dominance or other reasons? So I think it's partly for food. It's not unusual for really big prides of lions to split up at some point because there is a lot of competition for food, but then some of those big prides that do split up, the split is permanent, and then others they actually kind of keep on good terms with one another, and different members of the pride might go off in pairs or threes or fours, or even singly, and then join back together. It just depends on how sort of severe that competition for food is. Like the lioness that's got the youngest cubs now, it would make sense for her to kind of move around within the pride territory on her own or with her cubs to start with, because her small cubs are just going to get bullied constantly by the older 2-year-old and 1-year-old cubs that these lionesses have. For those of you that watch our channel, Mala Mala's YouTube channel regularly, you'll see that the Kambula pride's cubs are particularly scruffy looking cubs, but it's because they have such a hard time. So if they survive cubhood, they're gonna grow up to be the toughest, meanest, most streetwise lions on the planet, I think, because they really have to brawl with these other lions that are 2-3 times their size for any food.
And there's a number of you asking about that tragic accident with the guide, and our condolences go out to the Hooper family over this very difficult period. Yeah, it can't be easy, and our thoughts are with you.
And Kathleen saying there's a large group of subadult males in the pride that will be on their own soon. So yes, I'm guessing in the next year those young males will all move off together. Maybe not the youngest ones, but certainly the older ones. And then if they move off as a group of 6, I think, or 5 or 6 young males together, there will be a pretty powerful coalition already. The Gari males, their fathers were initially a part of a coalition of 5. The biggest coalition I'm aware of on Mala Mala was 9 lions, so kind of an unstoppable force. But I don't think the young males will be able to stay too much longer without really getting on their father's nerves a bit, or the new male lions, if any, come in and take over the pride, are definitely going to chase those young males out. Eric Hill asking, do you ever come across lions that are exceptionally large, males? Every now and then. About, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, there was one ridiculously big lash-maned lion. He looked like he had just come out of some other zoo or something. Like he was a remarkably well looked after and phenomenally big lion. He came here, he mated with one of the Ifield lionesses for a while and then left, and we never saw him again. But I wish he had stayed, because he was an exceptionally good-looking lion as well. But I don't think he could really... That single lion would never be able to hold a territory against all the big coalitions of lions that we see here.
Nadav asking, do you think those 2 lions would have been here by now if they were coming here? Nadav, I think they would have been, but I think it's quite likely, Mike said it earlier, that these lions could have potentially called and that lioness, made a beeline for it, and maybe they didn't call again, and she's kind of lost her way potentially. In which case she might just be close by, lying down, waiting for the next call. Welcome, Oscar Robinson. Glad to see new faces in the chat room.
And just one thing, we will send our regards as we see them. I was really, when Gareth and I this morning, we were quite far on the south of the reserve where the Stixx pride of lions had last been seen, but I was really hoping to see them myself because I haven't seen them for so long.
Then Symphonia Doll, I just got here what's been happening. So quite a lot has happened since we started the stream. We started out at a hyena den site where there were 5 cubs, and they eventually went back into the den site. So we decided to go and follow up on a pair of mating lions who were sleeping and then just awoke suddenly from their slumber and came running in this direction. And we were trying to follow them but lost sight of them and stumbled across these lions in frame here. And just Nandi aesthetic, it's just Nandi. The animals ever get bothered whenever you film them. If you have a look at the previous live stream, it's probably 2 live streams ago now, where there was a leopard in a tree. We had an experience with a very nervous male leopard that we've been seeing around here, and we don't have all that many nervous leopards. We're quite fortunate to have very relaxed leopards here, but we were aware that this particular male was nervous. But we sat quietly and watched as he approached, and he actually got right up close to us and climbed the tree, and then maybe about 5 to 10 minutes after feeding on the carcass just got spooked and ran off. When he did run off, we gave him his space, but we do recognize him as a nervous leopard, and if we see that they do need their space, we do give them their space, and we let them get used to us, and very slowly. We don't want to get them scared of us. We'd rather have good viewing and let them be as relaxed as these lions are in frame. And Symphonia Doll saying, I'm falling asleep just watching them, the relaxing way, not because I'm bored. Symphonia, I get that feeling when I watch test match cricket and I love it.
I'll fall asleep because it is boring. Fighting wolves, how many distance? I'm guessing you mean how far are we from the lions? I want to say I'm just going to move the camera so you can see where the vehicle is. So we are that far. I want to say 5 or 6 meters away. And you can see the lions aren't too phased by us at all. At this Kambula Pride, they've kind of grown up on all of the private game reserves. For myself, I used to watch what I think is these lionesses' great grandmothers, or great grandmothers even perhaps. So this pride has got quite a long history here. It's part of the Martley pride lineage, if you will. But the Martley pride split up into a couple of different groups over the years. But when I first started viewing them, it was 3 lionesses, a lioness with her 2 daughters. And then that pride grew exceptionally large, fragmented into another big group, and which fragmented again into what's now the Kambula pride.
And Eric Hill, thank you so much for that. It's greatly appreciated. And Sammy J and Casper, nice to see you again. Enjoy. Hopefully we'll catch up on the next stream.
Oh, I would love a peanut butter cookie right now.
Yeah. Just saw that comment as well. Desperate right now for one of those. Yeah, that hyena whooped and all the lions have their heads up listening.
Sorry, you might not have heard that because I was cackling away over my desire for a peanut butter cookie. But there was a hyena that just whooped now. It's getting onto sunset now, or past sunset in fact. So a lot of the territorial animals will start calling now just to let their own species know who lives where and so on. So a lot of the birds call things like the lions, hyenas and that. Partly it's now's the time for the nocturnal animals to be waking up, so they will be paying attention to who lives where, and for things like birds, they're all kind of letting their competitors know that the territory is still occupied, and then again in the morning when they wake up they'll let their neighbors know that they're still around. But with the air getting cooler and denser, it's also a good time to call. It doesn't really make a difference now because it's an extremely cold day for us, but in the summer it makes a big difference. Thanks for that, Tesla Smart Tech.
And Rod Woodford asking how often do we film. So over this lockdown period we've been filming every single day, but we haven't been streaming every single day. So if you are enjoying the stream and if you want to see more sightings that happen at Mala Mala outside of our cell phone or cellular coverage, then go onto the Mala Mala YouTube channel. We've got a series called Rangers in Isolation where we have filmed a lot of our sightings and put them up there.
We've been very lucky that Nadav has been letting us use his channel to show you all these sightings. And typically on Kruger Sightings it's sort of the more exceptional one-off sightings, and there's some truly phenomenal sightings that people capture and send into Nadav to post on his channel. But through the lockdown, obviously with a lot of the guides having a bit more free time on their hands, he's expanded it to include some of these live streams, which we hope we'll be able to continue with in the future, as well as some more educational ones on birding and guiding skills as well. So he's been able to diversify his channel quite a bit. And then he even came and visited us to do a TV series, or a short series anyway. They'll hopefully be on TV in South Africa soon.
A few close calls with snakes and a few other things.
Nadav is a bit of a hazard in the bush. I think he Had leopard on his veranda, hyena trying to get into his room, snakes on the pathway. So all this stuff that would happen to us in the course of a career, he had happen in the space of a week. I don't know if he's really lucky or unlucky, depending on how you want to look at it. And I think he saw all the big five from his room while he was here. I can see the lionesses aren't exactly active, but they are just slowly starting to wake up and listen to what's going on around them. And unfortunately, there's been no more sign of the other lioness and that male. That's a shame. I think her sisters gave her the little blue ticks again here. They sent the message but didn't respond at all to her.
And a lot of you guys just saying thank you, both to Nadav and to us here, I'm assuming. And you're welcome. We really enjoy these interactive experiences on the live streams. Obviously, when we are filming for our own YouTube channel, it's not quite as interactive. So we do enjoy the commentary that goes along with these live streams and all the relationships that we built within these chat rooms. So we appreciate you all joining us and talking to us, and for all of your comments on our YouTube channel. Keep them coming. I think it's almost time for us to get going here, Mike.
Yeah. So I know a couple of you are just asking what DSTV is. So that the TV series we're doing with Nadav will be airing on the South African satellite channels on kind of like our cable network, I suppose, here. But I'm assuming Nadav will be able to share some of that at least on his channel down the line. So maybe not immediately, but keep an eye out for that in the future. And for all our South African viewers, it'll be on the Weather Channel, Channel 180. And then, yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of cringing because a lot of the time that camera was rolling and I wasn't aware of it. So
Yeah.
I'm dreading some of the more off-the-cuff remarks that I made coming through.
Likewise, I hope they've cut a few things out there.
Yeah. But we shall see.
Okay, thank you, folks. It's been good again. Oof. We are going to end this broadcast soon.
Yeah, I think Nadav is saying he's had some load shedding where he is. So that's gonna definitely affect our live stream. So let's say goodbye quickly while we can.
Thanks, Superbikes. And sleep tight to you all if it is nighttime where you are, and good morning to you all.
Oh. And thanks for the cookie.
Yeah.
All right, goodbye.